Hi, my name is Nathan, and welcome to the Daily Word. On today's episode of the Daily Word, we'll be in Galatians 5, verses 22 and 23. Let's read the scripture together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law.
Our daily word for today is the word self-control. Let's say this word together. Self-control. So what does the word self-control mean? Well, to have self-control means to have restraint or order in a situation. So the opposite of self-control is to not have restraint and not have order. So to be out of control, to be reckless. So to have self-control, it means that in a situation, there's order or there's restraint. You're not reckless, you're not flying about, you're in order and in restraint. It means that there is control in that situation. So something that is not in order or that doesn't have restraint or doesn't have self-control can really inflict a lot of harm and damage in things or people around them. But to have self-control means that there's order or there's restraint. So for example, self-control in a situation where there's conflict, when you have a disagreement with someone. To not have self-control means your emotions start to flare up and maybe you say things that are not helpful for that relationship. It's not helpful for that problem at hand. But to have self-control there, it means that even though you want to say certain things, even though you really want to engage in the back and forth, you have the insight and you have the wisdom to know that that won't help things. So instead of saying the thing you so badly want to say, you don't say it. That's to have self-control. Or perhaps it's with food. Even though you love the taste of a certain food, and even though you've already eaten dinner and you're already full, you really want that flavor in your mouth. To have self-control means to take a step back and think, I don't need it, I've already eaten, I'm not hungry, this will just make me feel worse this evening, at night, or tomorrow morning, knowing that I didn't need to and I gave in anyway. So you don't. And you don't have that thing you know you don't need. So self-control, there's a lot of order and restraint in having self-control. Making wise decisions and being controlled. So let's take that understanding of self-control and put it into our verses. So what we have here, the fruit of the Spirit, talked about by Paul in Galatians. And one of those fruit is self-control. And to me, self-control, in a lot of ways, it ties together a lot of the other fruits of the Spirit. To have self-control means, in a lot of ways, you're denying yourself. You're putting yourself last, and you're putting the Lord's will first. For us, it's so easy to not have self-control. It's so easy to indulge in things that make us feel good. In a fight, we want to indulge in that anger. We want to indulge in that conflict to be able to say what we want to say so that we are vindicated, that we feel good, that we are right and they are wrong. When it comes to food, we want to eat that food because it makes us feel good and we feel like we deserve it. We've had a long day. I've deprived myself all day. I deserve a reward, so I'm going to have it. And there are numerous other ways where we lack self-control. Each of us has something in our life where it's hard to have self-control about. But with the presence of the Lord, there is self-control because it's causing you to put yourself last, to deny yourself and say, is this really what is going to help me right now? Is this really what I need? Is this what the Lord would want for me? Is this honoring the Lord or honoring myself? Now that's the question. In those situations that are hard, or in those situations where your self-control is tested, is it you that you want to serve, or is it the Lord? Because if it's the Lord, You put the Son first and the Spirit that He has in you first. And you say, Lord, let your will be done. Not mine, but thy will be done. And His will is for you to have self-control, because by having self-control, you can experience the light in your life, and then you are therefore the light for others, and then that's where healing happens, inside you and around you. But without self-control, it's like a bull in a china shop, or it's like someone recklessly destroying things left and right, causing damage, causing hurt and division, the opposite of the promises of the gospel, which are unity, love, peace, joy. So self-control, having restraint, not just because you know you have to, because you're a good Christian, but because it's serving the Lord first to have self-control and deny yourself. It's not about you and what you want. It's what does the Lord want and what will honor Him because of what He has done in your life and what you have received in Jesus already. The least we can do is say, Lord, thank you for saving me and giving me your Son. What can I do to honor you? And if that means not saying this word that will sting someone just for the sake of seeing them wince, or eating that thing to make us feel good just because we feel like we deserve it, it's the least we can do. Put the Lord first. Ask for self-control and experience the fruit of being controlled, not just in your spirit, but in the people around you. There's unity and love and joy to be had with self-control. Well, that does it for today's episode of The Daily Word. If you liked this video or found it helpful, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. And go ahead and try to use this word in your daily life. What are some things, think about it, that you have a hard time having self-control about? Or maybe in the past, some things you've overcome that now you have self-control over. But you can't do it. You can't just have self-control. You have to go to the Son. You have to turn to Jesus and say, Christ in me, help me. Help me to see the fruit of the Spirit of the Son Jesus. And let Him change you from the inside out to help you deny yourself and experience His glory by being self-controlled. Well, my name is Nathan, and this was your Daily Word. See you next time.